Did you know that some of reggae's biggest stars have stirred up huge controversies in reggae music history? From Peter Tosh, who boldly spoke out for substance legalization and faced backlash from both fans and authorities, to Buju Banton, whose lyrics led gay rights groups in the United States to protest that his shows should be canceled. Here are the 15 most controversial stars in reggae music history. Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel is one of the most famous and controversial dancehall artists to ever come out of Jamaica. With his sharp lyrics, wild personality, and bold performances, he became a huge figure in the Jamaican music scene. Rolling Stone magazine once said he reached folk hero status in Jamaica, thanks to his fearless lyrics, and the way he kept fans excited and critics offended year after year. In the late 2000s, Cartel and another popular artist, Mavado, got into a serious feud. Their musical battle wasn't just about songs, it split Jamaica's youth into two rival groups. Cartel's fans called themselves the Gaza Crew, while Mavado's fans were part of the Gully Side. The fight between the two sides became so intense that it even led to violence in the streets. Things got so bad that, in 2009, Cartel and Mavado had to perform together to help calm things down. The very next day, they met with Jamaica's Prime Minister to show that they were ending the feud. Despite the drama, Cartel kept putting out hits. Songs like It Bend Like Banana showed off his wild side, and his music became super popular even though many of his daggering tracks, which had very sexual lyrics, were banned in Jamaica. He also became known for breaking taboos in Jamaican culture. For example, he was one of the first major artists to openly sing about oral sex, something that had long been considered off limits in Jamaican music. However, not everyone appreciated Cartel's boldness. In 2011, the government in Guyana banned his music from the airwaves. Officials said his lyrics were obscene and didn't bring anything positive to their culture. After that, other countries in the Caribbean, including Grenada, Barbados, and St. Lucia also banned him. Buju Banton. Buju Banton is one of Jamaica's most well-known reggae and dancehall singers. But early in his career, he made a song that caused serious controversy around the world. When Buju was just 15 years old, he recorded a track called Boom Bye Bye. It wasn't released to the public until 1992, when he was 19. The song had violent lyrics about killing gay men, and when it came out, it sparked outrage across the globe. After seeing the backlash, Buju Banton made a public apology. In 2007, there was an effort to make things better. Several reggae artists were asked to sign a document called the Reggae Compassionate Act. It was created by a group called Stop Murder Music, and it asked artists to promise not to sing songs that spread hate or violence, especially against the LGBTQ+ community. The act said reggae should be about love, respect, and understanding for all people. Buju Banton was said to be one of the artists who signed the pledge, but he later denied that he had ever agreed to it. In 2009, gay rights groups in the United States were still protesting his shows and asking venues not to let him perform. They felt that the song had caused real harm and promoted hate. Despite the backlash, he avoided performing Boom Bye Bye or any other songs with hateful lyrics at big concerts that year. Finally, in 2019, Buju Banton decided to make a clear break from his past. He and his team removed Boom Bye Bye from all major music platforms, including Apple Music and Spotify. He promised never to perform the song again. In a public statement, he said that he no longer wanted to be associated with that kind of message. Instead, he said it was time to stand for tolerance, love, and growth. Beanie Man. Beanie Man is one of Jamaica's biggest dancehall stars, but his career has been filled with controversy because of some of the things he said in his songs. In the early 2000s, many people around the world were upset about his lyrics, especially those that seemed to promote violence against gay people. In 2004, after protests from gay rights activists, Beanie Man was removed from performing at the MTV Video Music Awards. That same year, when a show in the UK got cancelled, he was stopped by police at the airport in London. He later said sorry through his record label, trying to calm things down. In 2005, a group called Outrage, which had been speaking out against him, decided to ease up after he promised not to perform any more homophobic songs. That year, he was allowed to perform in London again. Then, in 2006, Beanie Man said that his lyrics weren't against gay people, but were instead meant to speak out against pedophilia. A year later, in 2007, news came out that Beanie Man had signed the Reggae Compassionate Act. But later, he said he never actually signed it. Even after all these public statements, the protests didn't stop. Between 2010 and 2012, several of his concerts were canceled in countries like New Zealand, Belgium, and the Netherlands. In 2012, Beanie Man seemed to finally try to make peace. He released a video message apologizing to the gay community. He said clearly that he had no hate in his heart and that he respected everyone, no matter who they were or who they loved. He asked people not to judge him for songs he wrote a long time ago, and said, "I love each and every one." However, in other interviews, he gave mixed messages. At one point, saying he never actually apologized, and at another, saying people should try to understand where he was coming from. In 2015, when a New Zealand news site tried to ask him again about his old lyrics, he hung up the phone without answering. Bounty Killer. Bounty Killer, one of the most powerful voices in 90s dancehall, made a name for himself with tough lyrics and bold energy. Known for his street-smart style and songs that often talked about violence, Bounty wasn't afraid to clash with anyone. In 1993, he stepped onto the Sting stage, one of Jamaica's biggest music events, and went head-to-head with Beanie Man in a fiery performance. That clash kicked off a long rivalry between the two, with each one accusing the other of stealing their style. Over time, though, they realized their feud was hurting the dancehall scene more than helping it, so they decided to bury the hatchet. But Beanie Man wasn't the only one Bounty had issues with. Throughout his career, he's had serious rivalries with other top artists too, like Merciless, Super Cat, and Vibes Cartel. These battles made headlines. In 2003, Bounty Killer ran into international trouble when a UK gay rights magazine, Outrage, asked the police to arrest him for lyrics that they believed encouraged violence against gay people. 2 of his concerts were canceled, and he stayed away from the UK for a while. When he returned in 2006, he performed his songs without censorship and without any legal problems. Bounty later said he was no longer focused on the gay community in his music, and would rather make songs about social issues and parties. Even with that change, his personal life was still full of drama. At the Reggae Sumfest Festival, Bounty was arrested twice, once in 2001 after a fight with another artist, and again in 2008 for using bad language on stage. Then, in 2009, police said he drove through 7 red lights in Kingston and refused to take a breathalyzer test when they pulled him over. Perhaps most serious of all was what happened in 2006. He was arrested and charged with assaulting the mother of his child. According to reports, he punched her in the face, dragged her, and slammed her head into a wall. Shaba Ranks. Shaba Ranks was one of the biggest dancehall stars from Jamaica in the late 1980s and early 1990s. During that time, he became famous around the world for his music. But while his career was rising, he also became known for something much more controversial: his homophobic views. One of his songs from 1990, called "Wicked in a Bed," had lyrics about shooting gay men. That kind of message caused a lot of anger and concern, especially outside of Jamaica, where people were calling out artists for promoting hate. Then, in 1992, things got worse. Shaba appeared on a UK television show called The Word. During the show, someone asked him what he thought about another artist's anti-gay song, Boom Bye Bye by Buju Banton. Shaba was holding a Bible in his hand and said that the Word of God supports the crucifixion of homosexuals. He also said he believed in free speech and the progress of the Jamaican people, but he made it clear that he didn't accept homosexuality, and he tried to justify it using religion. His comments shocked a lot of people. The show's host, Mark Lamar, told Shaba straight out, "That's absolute crap and you know it." After that, things began to fall apart for Shaba. He was removed from a Bobby Brown concert where he was supposed to perform, and his record label, Sony Music, also got involved. Later, Shaba apologized. He said he didn't realize at the time that what he said could encourage violence against gay and lesbian people, or anyone at all. Despite the apology, Shaba Ranks' career never fully recovered from that moment. Sizzla. Sizzla is a reggae artist from Jamaica, known not just for his talent, but also for how many albums he's released, more than 50 by 2018. He became one of the most popular and respected names in modern reggae music. But along with the fame came serious controversy. Some of Sizzla's songs included lyrics that were strongly anti-gay, and this caused outrage in many parts of the world. People said his words were dangerous and encouraged violence against the LGBTQ+ community. Because of this, several of his concerts were cancelled in countries like Canada, Germany, Spain, and the UK. In 2004, Sizzla was banned from entering the United Kingdom, where he had concerts planned. A group in the UK called Outrage, which supports LGBTQ+ rights, pointed out lyrics in his songs that they believe promoted hate. Then, in 2007, his shows in Toronto and Montreal were cancelled after a protest group called Stop Murder Music Canada spoke out. One of his most talked about songs, Nah Apologize, was released in 2004. In it, he made it clear that he wasn't sorry for anything he had said in earlier songs. In 2008, while touring Europe, his visa for Germany was cancelled midway through the tour, and he had to return to the United States. Sizzla stood by his words. He said he was simply expressing himself as an artist and speaking out against things he believed were wrong. At the same time, after more protests and show cancellations in 2009, 2010, and 2012 across Europe, his team released a statement. They said he respects the laws of every country where he performs and that he doesn't want to promote violence against anyone. Elephant Man. Elephant Man is a Jamaican dancehall artist who started out as part of a group called Scare Dem Crew before launching his solo career. He became internationally known in 2004 when the sportswear brand Puma used his song All Out in their Olympics commercial. That helped introduce his music to a much bigger audience around the world. One of his most famous songs is Willie Bounce, released in 2006. The song came with its own dance, and even years later, people were still doing the Willie Bounce. But Elephant Man has also faced serious criticism. Some of his songs included lyrics that many people felt were hateful toward gay people. In 2003, a British LGBTQ+ group called Outrage accused Elephant Man, along with other artists like Beanie Man and Bounty Killer, of encouraging violence through their music. They even asked for his arrest under hate crime laws. Because of these controversies, he was removed from the MOBO Awards in 2004. After that, there was pressure from his record label, and he made agreements with gay rights groups to stop performing songs with violent or homophobic lyrics. These efforts allowed him to continue performing in places like the UK. Still, the backlash didn't go away. In 2009, a planned performance at Toronto's Carabana Festival was cancelled due to similar concerns. Again in 2015, a show in Munich was called off after LGBTQ+ groups warned that he might sing songs promoting hate. Elephant Man also faced serious legal trouble in 2012. He was arrested and charged with sexual assault after a 31-year-old woman said he attacked her in his home in St. Andrew, Jamaica. The case went on for a few years, but was eventually dropped in 2016 after the woman passed away. If you are enjoying this video, appreciate it by giving it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Kapton. Kapton is a reggae and dancehall artist from Jamaica. He started making music in the late 1980s, at a time when most dancehall songs were about violence or sex. In those early years, before he became a Rastafarian, Kapton had several popular songs like Bumbo Red, #1 on the Look Good chart, and No Lotion Man. Things changed for Kapton in 1992 when he released a song called Almshouse. That track made a big impact and helped him rise in the dancehall scene. However, not all of Kapton's songs were well received. Some of his lyrics were criticized for being anti-gay. In Jamaica, where homosexuality is still illegal, this sparked strong reactions. Kapton's manager claimed that people misunderstood or mistranslated some of the words in his songs, saying they didn't actually refer to gay people. Kapton also explained that in his Rastafarian belief, he sees homosexuality as wrong. However, he said that when he uses words like burn or fire, he doesn't mean people should actually be harmed. Instead, he says those words are metaphors for spiritual cleansing or purification. Even with this explanation, Kapton kept performing songs that some people still saw as homophobic. Because of this, a show in Switzerland was cancelled in 2008, and his planned US tour in 2010 was also called off. Matisyahu. Matisyahu is an American musician known for mixing different types of music. He blends reggae, rap, hip-hop, beatboxing, and jazz-style singing with Jewish prayer melodies. His sound is inspired by famous reggae artists like Barrington Levy and Ika Mouse, but he adds his own unique twist. Since he first started making music, both reggae and rock fans have praised his work. In 2006, Matisyahu became well-known. Billboard named him the top reggae artist of the year, and he was even chosen as a spokesperson for a clothing brand, Kenneth Cole. That same year, Esquire magazine gave him the title of Most Lovable Oddball, saying he was the most interesting reggae artist in the world. But in early 2024, Matisyahu faced some trouble. Two of his concerts, one in Tucson, Arizona, and another in Santa Fe, New Mexico, were canceled because of safety concerns. This happened due to his strong support for Israel, which upset some pro-Palestinian activists. A third show in Chicago was also canceled. The activists took credit for pushing the venues to shut the concerts down. Matisyahu responded by saying that the people canceling his shows were either being anti-Semitic or were confusing their support for Palestinians with hate toward him, even though he cares about both Israelis and Palestinians. He shared a message with his fans, saying he was hurt by the cancellations, but that he would not answer hate with more hate. Afterward, he traveled to Israel, where he performed 2 live shows in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. The mayor of Santa Fe also spoke out, saying there's a big difference between protesting a government's actions and canceling a performance by a Jewish American artist just because of his background or beliefs. Bobi Wine. Robert Kyagulanyi, who is better known by his stage name Bobi Wine, is a well-known activist, politician, singer, lawyer, and actor from Uganda. He started his music career in the early 2000s with his friend Mugisha Fadel Toto. Initially, they went by the stage name Bobby Rob, inspired by the legendary musician Bob Marley, who was also named Robert. Later, Bobby Rob changed his name to Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine became popular in Uganda with his first singles like Akagoma, Funtula, and Sunda. His music includes styles like kidandali, reggae, dancehall, and Afrobeat, and often carries messages about social issues. Over 15 years, he has released more than 70 songs. Known for speaking out on political and social issues in Uganda, Bobi Wine has been a controversial figure. He has often disagreed with fellow musician Bebe Cool, who supports Uganda's president, Yoweri Museveni, and the ruling party, while Bobi Wine supports the opposition. In 2014, Bobi Wine was scheduled to perform in the United Kingdom at 2 venues, the Drum Arts Centre in Birmingham and the Troxy in London. However, his concerts were cancelled after some people called for a ban due to his past lyrics that were seen as anti-gay. Later, in 2016, Bobi Wine suggested that his views on homosexuality might have changed, though he didn't directly say so. In 2023, the United Kingdom lifted the travel ban that had been imposed on him in 2014, allowing him to visit the country again. Peter Tosh. Peter Tosh was a famous Jamaican reggae musician. He was one of the key members of the band The Wailers, alongside Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer, from 1963 to 1976. After leaving the band, Peter Tosh became a successful solo artist and a strong supporter of Rastafari, a religious and cultural movement. His music often reflected his beliefs and his fight against injustice. One of his most famous songs, Legalize It, was a bold statement about his frustration with the Jamaican police. He was often targeted, arrested, and harassed because of his Rastafarian beliefs and his use of cannabis. Through the song, he demanded the legalization of illegal substances, especially for medical reasons. Peter Tosh spoke openly about the unfair treatment he faced. In an interview in 1977, he said, "We are the victims of rasclot circumstances. Victimization, colonialism, gonna lead to bloodbath. He was upset by how people like him were treated. When the song Legalize It was released in 1975, it was banned from Jamaican radio. But Tosh didn't stop there. He took out an ad in a newspaper and published the full lyrics of the song so everyone could read them. In April 1978, Peter Tosh performed at the One Love Peace concert in Jamaica. During his performance, he lit a spliff and gave a speech about legalizing cannabis. He criticized Jamaican leaders, Michael Manley and Edward Seaga, for not making these substances legal. After the concert, Tosh became a regular target for the police. In September of that year, he was arrested at Halfway Tree Square for smoking and allegedly attacking a police officer. While in police custody, he was badly beaten, suffering a broken hand and head injuries that required stitches. Mavado. Mavado is a popular Jamaican singer. In 2011, he signed with DJ Khaled's We the Best music group, which was part of Cash Money and Republic Records. He worked with Khaled on many of his albums, starting with We the Best Forever in 2011. Mavado's big break came in 2005 with his first hit single, Real McCoy. Then, in 2007, he released an album called Gangsta for Life, the Symphony of David Brooks on VP Records. One of the songs from that album, Dying, was played a lot on New York's Hot 97 radio station. However, Mavado's career faced some controversy. In 2007, he was detained by Jamaican police. While in custody, he claimed he was thrown through a glass window, injuring 3 fingers, which had to be reattached at the hospital. The police said that Mavado tried to escape while at the hospital. Later, he was arrested and charged with shooting, with intent and illegal possession of a firearm, in connection with an event that happened in July 2007. He was released on $3,000 bail, but after that, he was not allowed to enter the United States. Mavado also faced criticism for his lyrics. He didn't sign the Reggae Compassionate Act, which is an agreement by reggae artists to stop using anti-gay lyrics. In some of his songs, like Batty Boy Termination, Mavado used offensive language about gay people. This led to him being banned from performing in some Caribbean countries. In 2012, he was convicted of assault and malicious destruction of property after an incident while driving. He was fined $100,000, and when he tried to appeal, the decision was not changed. Ninja Man. Ninja Man is a well-known Jamaican dancehall DJ. He became famous for his controversial lyrics, which often promoted guns and violence. He was also known for his unique style, which included a stutter and a melodramatic way of performing. In 1987, Ninja Man released his first big hit, a song called Protection, which he recorded with another artist named Courtney Melody. Throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s, Ninja Man worked with many different music producers, including King Jammy, Bobby Digital, and Augustus Clark. During this time, he released several popular songs like Border Clash, Murder Dem, and Above the Law. These songs helped to build his image as a tough and violent rude boy in the dancehall scene. His music often spoke about fighting and being tough, and this led to rivalries with other artists like Florgon, Supercat, and Shaba Ranks, sparking several clashes between them. By 1993, people started to criticize Ninja Man for his violent lyrics, which led to fewer performances and recording opportunities. In 1997, he made a big change in his life. He started performing gospel reggae music under the name Brother Desmond. However, in 2009, Ninja Man was arrested along with his son, Janiel, for the murder of a man named Ricardo Johnson in Kingston, Jamaica. Ninja Man was granted bail, but the court case took a long time to start. The trial was delayed several times, with the first scheduled date in 2012, then rescheduled to 2015, and again to 2016. Finally, in November 2017, Ninja Man and his co-accused were found guilty of the murder. In December 2017, Ninja Man was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Alkaline. Alkaline is a Jamaican musician from Kingston, known for his work in dancehall and reggae music. In 2015, he started to get attention internationally with hit singles like On Fleek, Love You Everything, and Ride On Me featuring Sean Kingston. He also released 2 other big songs that year, ATM, and Champion Boy, both of which appeared on his debut album, New Level Unlocked. The album was released on March 25, 2016, and quickly became popular. It reached the #1 spot on the Billboard Reggae charts in April 2016, staying there for 18 weeks. This made Alkaline the first dancehall artist in 5 years to have a #1 album. When Alkaline first entered the Jamaican dancehall scene in 2013, he stood out because of his unique look, which included bleached skin, blonde dreadlocks, and what many thought were tattooed eyeballs. He claimed to have had a procedure called corneal tattooing, where the eyes are permanently tattooed, which caused a lot of controversy. Some people in Jamaica believed it was just a stunt to get attention, but it also helped Alkaline build a large following. A recurring theme in his music, especially in the song 2016, made people curious because he never explained what the year meant. Alkaline kept up the mystery for about 3 years until he finally admitted that the tattooed eyes were a publicity stunt. He explained that the real meaning of 2016 was that he had given himself until that year to prove his music could speak for itself without needing stunts for attention. This led to the release of his debut album, New Level Unlocked. After that, he stopped wearing the black contact lenses that covered his eyes. Lee Sparta. Lee Sparta is a Jamaican dancehall artist known for his controversial style, which he calls gothic dancehall. His music often includes dark themes and topics inspired by Satanism. He became popular with his hit song Some Boy, Link Pon We Chain in 2011, which was part of the So Bad Rhythm. However, it wasn't until after Vibes Cartel's arrest and the release of the music video in 2012, under new management by Junior Fraser, that the song started gaining popularity. The song quickly became #1 on several Jamaican music charts, and the video was played a lot on Caribbean TV stations like RETV, Hype TV, and Tempo Networks. In September 2012, Lee Sparta got into a feud with Bounty Killer, the leader of the Alliance music group. The trouble started after Bounty Killer posted some messages on Twitter that seemed to insult Lee Sparta. One tweet on September 8th said, "Christmas is for, Christ so new demon or devil, chia, win we a blood clat, all a dem a dead a sting." Many people believed this was a reference to Lee Sparta's Uncle Demon persona and a threat related to the Sting Music Festival coming up on Boxing Day. Bounty Killer denied the tweet was about Lee Sparta and said it was just aimed at the devil, not any artist. Lee Sparta said he respected Bounty Killer as an older artist and wouldn't respond with disrespect. However, just a week later, Lee Sparta released a new music video for a diss track called Goat Head, which was aimed at Bounty Killer. Bounty Killer didn't stay quiet and responded the next month with 2 diss songs of his own, Die God and Niami Lee. As the feud grew, both artists were set to clash at the 2012 Sting Music Festival, with Bounty Killer saying it was like a giant and an ant facing off. However, when Sting's lead promoter, Isaiah Lang, suggested that Lee Sparta might have a chance of beating Bounty Killer, the veteran artist got upset and canceled his performance. Which of these stars do you think is the most controversial? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content.